Today, I'm going to be telling you every single thing you need to know to excel in the reading comprehension component of the selective school exam in Victoria. Let's get started. The reading comprehension test consists of questions mostly based on the given text, so like actual reading comprehension, and then some questions that are related to the English language skills, such as grammar, punctuation, and figurative language. This is by far the easiest of the four tests, but this only means that everyone else also finds it easy, which makes it a lot more competitive. The texts are a range of both long and short texts, with some only one paragraph and others 4 to 5 paragraphs. The English language questions include interpreting idioms and proverbs, changing the order of sentences, finding the correct meaning, and which sentence is punctuated correctly. The best way to study for reading comprehension is to practice answering questions from a huge variety of texts. Skimming is probably one of the biggest skills in reading comprehension, and that's just making sure you can read the text fast and make sure you can pick out the most important details. This is very useful as you only have 30 minutes to complete 50 questions and read like some really long text. Skimming can be practiced by doing other reading comprehension tests and practicing answering questions from given texts. My next tip is to read the questions first. So when you're reading through the actual text, you know what you're looking out for, and if you find the answer, you can immediately circle the answer. This again really helps you save time, and it means that you don't have to come back to the text so many times. For questions that ask you, find the main idea of the text, you can just look in the first 1 or 2 sentences and that will tell you exactly what it is. But if it's not there, then you can just skip past the question and it's just one question, so it won't matter, instead of just going through the whole thing. This also applies for questions that sometimes ask you what the theme or main idea is. If it's unclear, then just skip it. There's no point in wasting time while figuring it out because it's only one question. One tip that I found really useful, and I tried it a lot and it really worked, for informative text, you don't exactly need to read it. So if it's like telling you information about an animal or something, and then some questions will be like, it's easy to find in the text, so you don't actually need to read it. So just look at the question, you find the main words, and go back into the text, and you find the answer. But for narratives, it's a bit harder because you actually need to interpret it and understand it properly. So for narratives, make sure you definitely read the whole text. It doesn't matter if it takes a bit longer, just read it because it will help answer the questions much faster and more accurately. But again, for other informative text, sometimes it's just easier to just go straight to the questions and try and find it from the text itself. The last thing is to make sure your grammar is perfected. This includes not only grammar but spelling and punctuation. You don't want to lose marks for a simple thing as this. This also includes vocabulary. Vocabulary is another big aspect of reading comprehension, and it's not just in verbal reasoning. So you have to make sure you brush up on your vocabulary and you've done at least some basics. You should definitely practice your grammar and just go through random types of questions and just go through smaller things and just make sure you have it all perfected. Now I'm going to go over a couple of practice questions with you that are similar to the ones on the test but are obviously much easier. So question 1. What does the phrase "like a duck takes the water" mean? So if you can see this phrase, it's an idiom question. So, like a duck takes the water. So what does a duck do to water? A duck can naturally swim in water. So the answer would be B, to have a natural ability. It wouldn't be A because that's too literal. Same with C. And D, it has nothing related to difficulty. It's more on being easy instead of difficulty. So the answer is B. Now, question 2. Choose a sentence that is punctuated correctly. In A, you can automatically see that these are lowercase, so it's not A. B, you can see that, again, it's lowercase, so you can't see it. For C, you can see that they're all punctuated correctly. And D, it looks very similar to C, but there's no full stop at the very end. So the answer is C. And like that, you gotta do it very quickly. In conclusion, the reading comprehension test requires you to interpret different types of text, and it also checks if you know your English language well. So the best thing is to make sure you've mastered at least some parts of those things. That's all for today, so subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.